Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Quick question for you all. Have you noticed that every year a new phone comes out with an amazing camera, or even several cameras now? It's not even about what's the best camera. It's like, here, have 4 cameras on there that enable us all to stream video in glorious HD. But when a video has great audio but terrible video, you can still kind of follow the story. But you give a video terrible audio, it's hard to follow at all because viewers immediately disconnect. So for these reasons alone, I struggle to understand why audio has not improved on mobile devices. Because like I said, having perfect audio in videos is key to keeping an audience engaged and of course to be taken seriously as a video maker or vlogger. Now, as a podcaster that's always looking for a better way to record podcasts on the move and also lighten that bulging backpack that I carry around with me, I thought it was time to get my old friend Philip from Mikme back onto the show. And Mikme Pocket is a wireless audio recorder and is made for mobile content creators, as it enables them to shoot professional videos on their smartphone or camera with studio-grade sound. Now, I know he has a few surprises up his sleeve, so buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Austria so we can speak with Philip Sonnleitner from Mikme. So, a massive warm welcome back to the show, Philip. But for anyone that missed our previous conversations, can you just tell the listeners a little more about who you are and what you do?
Well, thanks for the invitation. My name is Philip Sonnleitner. I'm the CEO and founder of Mikme. We are an audio startup from Vienna, Austria. And we are basically focusing on improving the content creation and production workflow, meaning that if you want to create or record high-quality audio with video together or high-quality podcast everywhere on the go with your smartphone, we're building the solution for that. And our first products have been the Mikme Microphone, a studio-quality microphone. So we talked before that on your podcast. Actually, we're recording this, at least on my side, on a Mikme Microphone. And now we're back with some new products.
Fantastic. And like I said a few moments ago, you have been on the show several times. It's great to see what you're doing there and how it's evolving. But for anyone that has missed our previous conversation, can you just bring them up to speed about the kind of problem that we have with mobile audio and also how the Mikme solution tackles that problem?
Yeah, great question. So where we all started was basically the problem that so you could do like quick and easy audio video recording with your smartphone. You're just using a smartphone. There's like built-in microphones, but the sound quality is like lower than media core. It's not studio grade quality. I mean, it was built the smartphone for phone calls, or you do it properly like professional sound, like you do in your podcasts. But then you need, you need to know a lot about microphones. You have to have like an external microphone, a software. Just before that podcast, I tried to fire up Logic and it had some driver problems. I guess we spent, I don't know, you waited for 5 minutes for me just to fix that. Yeah. So you need a lot of knowledge and it takes time, a lot of equipment to get it properly done. So we actually wanted to have the best of both worlds, like professional, like good audio quality, but in an easy to use and mobile setup. So that was our initial goal for Mikme. And that's why we built the microphone, which has a built-in audio recorder. So you just push a button and record in studio grade quality. So it's a studio grade microphone plus audio recorder, works wirelessly with your phone. It syncs professional quality over Bluetooth with your phone. That was the basic idea of Mikme.
Now, I do have the first Mikme device, which you kindly sent me when we spoke a couple of years ago now. But I've since noticed that you have a new version that has clip-on mics. I mean, can you tell me more about this and why you added it? And was it because of feedback? I mean, but for me as a podcaster, it's quite exciting to have that kind of portable solution.
Well, that's actually interesting that podcasters like the new lavalier microphone, or clip-on microphone. So yeah, it was based on feedback. So we shipped about and sold about 3,500 Mikme microphones, the original one. And it was designed with musicians and podcasters and radio guys in mind. And then once we launched it on Indiegogo a couple of years back, a lot of people, we realized, wanted to record video with the Mikme, so with the original one. And then we built, so we have our own app, and we built the app so that it synchronizes the audio from the Mikme Microphone wirelessly with your smartphone video. So basically, you can pick up the sound pretty close to your mouth, which results in like outstanding sound quality. But we also got a lot of feedback about that use case, that people wanted to place the Mikme microphone further away, so out of the frame, or wanted to have like an external input to connect clip-on microphones, or they straight ask for, can you build a clip-on lavalier version of the Mikme? So it seems like, for podcasts where you don't see the microphones, the Mikme Microphone is great and for musicians, but as soon as you want to get the microphone out of the frame, you have to use something smaller, more portable, which is the basic clip-on microphone. So we started thinking about, so how can we reuse what we learn and what we have already with the Mikme Microphone and bring that to a lavalier clip-on microphone. And that's what the new product is about. It's called Mikme Pocket. It's based 95% on the technology and setup of the original Mikme Microphone, but it has an external input, so you can connect basically any external microphone to it. And it's targeted towards video makers in the first place, because lavalier microphones were made developed for video makers. Interesting enough, you're not the first podcaster saying, oh, that would maybe be a good solution for on the go. Let's say you're running through the street or running through an event and documenting that. Yeah. With the Pocket, you have both hands free, which is quite nice, and you still record high quality audio. And the real good thing is it always saves a fail-safe copy on the device itself. So even if the Bluetooth link dies, your phone is out of battery, you get a phone call or whatever happens, you always get like a fail-safe copy on the device itself. That's why we call it a wireless fail-safe audio recorder. That's basically the story behind the Pocket. So it was born out of the feedback from hundreds of people.
And I've got to admit, as a podcaster that carries a bulging, very heavy kit bag around me at conferences, I always have to dash to meeting rooms. But I'm curious, is that a solution where you can use two clippable mics for both me and a guest at a conference? And how much would it cost for that kind of setup? Because I'm very interested in this.
Yeah. So this was the other, like basically three big feedback things, like make the microphone smaller, make a clip-on microphone. The second biggest request was make it able to live stream for Facebook Live and other applications. And the third one was it would be great to use multiple of them, of Mikmes. So as I said, like we built the Pocket on the platform of the Mikme Microphone and improved two or three smaller things. But basically, so with the launch of the Pocket, which is in autumn, or basically we ship it in autumn, we will introduce an app which can record from multiple microphones. So we already have a beta version ready, works pretty neatly. And the cool thing is because it saves the audio locally, works pretty straightforward for two. If you want to use like 2, 3, 4 of them, the cool thing is it still gets this fail-safe copy. So if the Bluetooth link is too slow, it will sync at the end of the recording automatically all the files together. So, that's what we call multiple microphones. Very clever name. And so the setup is, so on Kickstarter, it starts at 249 euros for one Mikme Pocket, which is the version with 16 gigabyte and the standard lavalier version. If you want to have like a professional lavalier, then it's a 299 euro version. And we also have like a 2 microphone or 2 pocket solution for 549 euros on Kickstarter. And that's pretty, it's a 20 to 30% cut of the later on street price. So it's a pretty good deal. So about 500 to 600 euros is the dual microphone solution from Mikme.
Excellent. It's really appealing to me is I think everybody's a content creator now, and whether you're a YouTuber or a podcaster or you just want to make your holiday videos sound better, because we've got that 4K quality or HD quality. Yeah. The sound is awful. And I think removes any of the pain points, like you were saying with your board a few moments ago, that you had the problem, because that's half the battle, isn't it, overcoming that?
Yeah. So the story behind the Kickstarter campaign will be more or less you should be able to focus on your story, because that matters most. That's why people record videos, podcasts, because you want to tell some kind of story. So everything which basically moves your focus away from storytelling will make the story less compelling. So we want to make a solution where it's as easy as possible. So definitely we build a nice hardware. So we constantly progressing on the software piece. We did a lot of updates, or some updates in the past. And the cool thing is that what we've done with the Mikme Microphone also works for Mikme Pocket. So when we release a new version of the software of the app, it will, in 95% of the cases, work on both devices. So whatever we come up with in the future, new hardware devices, we try to be backward compatible and make the content creation as easy as possible. It's still up to the creator to make a nice story, so it's kind of hard to help you with that. But at least we can try to get away the friction of cables and how you position the microphone. If you have multiple receivers, if you have two of them, the normal setup with iPhones is you have two transmitters, two receivers, mixers, at least like 3, 4, 5 cables. You have to mount all of that. You're not mobile, so it's just a pain. So ideally, you just need 2 receivers and an app and an iPhone, and that's it. So that's the goal for the future.
Now, another thing that I recently experienced at a conference was I had a nightmare in a recent interview with Gary Vaynerchuk at an event in Vegas, where my audio corrupted and I lost absolutely everything. I mean, is there anything in place that protects audio with Mikme as well?
So the problem with wireless is that basically there's 2 different approaches with recording audio. So either you have an audio recorder like a Zoom or Tascam, and then you have like a local copy on the device. So that's kind of fail safe, but you cannot easily monitor that audio. So you just hit the record button. I mean, you can monitor if you connect the headphones to the Zoom, but it's like a pain to get that audio forward to your computer or online on Facebook, whatever. The other approach is like having a wireless solution where you have a transmitter and receiver. The problem with that is, like in a big event, you have like literally, I guess, thousands of phones around, and another 1,000 creators around you. They all may use wireless, so it's pretty hard for the wireless systems to keep up with that, and you may have a lot of dropouts. So, and again, we try to combine the best things of both worlds, so being wirelessly over Bluetooth, but still having that fail-safe aspect with the built-in audio recorder. So in this case, even let's say your phone dies, Bluetooth is not working, whatever, you still get the wireless copy on the device itself, as long as you have enough battery on the Mikme. But I can imagine, it's hard to get Gary in front of the microphone. He's a quite busy guy. So we know that fail-safe operation is a pretty important thing. And with that approach, we hope that a lot of people, we can save a lot of people from those stories, and like your story, that you don't have to tell it any longer again. After you bought Mikme.
Am I also right in saying that the new Mikme will also work with your camera now? So it's not reliant on an iPhone or a smartphone. Can you walk me through how that works if we've got a blogger listening?
Yes. So that's also an interesting story. So we actually thought originally that the main use case would be with smartphones, but we had like a lot of video makers or vloggers saying, "Oh, that's nice because it's an audio recorder." And then in the beginning, I said like, "Yeah, but it's just like an audio recorder, so there's nothing innovative with it." And then when I told them that basically through the Mikme app, so you can record locally, but you still can listen into the audio stream for the app. So you basically, if you imagine you have like this 2-person setup with you and Gary, and I would record the video or just record audio from 2 Mikmes simultaneously. I still could open up our, we call it the gain menu on the app, and then you can tab or listen into the audio stream of Gary and just checking if everything is okay, if there's enough battery power, if the audio is okay, if the lavalier microphone is placed correctly, if it's overdriving and stuff like that. And a lot of video makers really like that feature, because if you're doing an interview, it's kind of hard once it's started. It's hard to react. And they said like before my entire video is just the distorted, for example, or the lavalier microphone is completely placed wrong, or in the wrong direction, or you always hear like this scratching stuff if he's scratching his t-shirt or stuff like that. So you could listen to it. So they like this feature. With a camera, you would basically be able to remote control, start and stop your recording, listening to the device, the audio stream of the device. You can set up basically all the settings for the app, hit start and stop, and then afterwards you can sync the audio to video on your computer in a normal post-production.
And for any audio files or techies listening, can you give me a few tech stats about the equipment, such as memory, formats, and any other details?
Yeah, sure. So Mikme records in various different sample rates. So if you do the wireless operation over Bluetooth, we always record in 44.1 kilohertz in 24 bits, which is quite massive because normal Bluetooth microphones only record in 8, maximum 16 kilohertz and 16 bits. So it's about 3 to 4 times higher bandwidth, which results in much better audio. And as I said, we will also remove all the dropouts because that's done by a patented wireless link. But it can record in local recording. It can record up to 48, 96 kilohertz, 24-bit. You can connect to the Pocket. You can connect through a mini XLR connector, 3-pin mini XLR connector, basically any third-party microphone. So you also can connect the Shure SM58 dynamic microphone with adapter cable. So it also would work as a handheld device recording setup. It will continuously record about 3 to 3.5 hours with its battery. What else it has? There's different versions. On Kickstarter, there's only one version with 16 gigabyte of storage. So with raw wave file recording, you get about 35 hours of recording in some, and with with AAC files, you get about 300 hours, which is quite a lot. And works with, so we have an iPhone app yet. So it works with basically every 64-bit operating systems on iOS. We're working on an Android app that's missing. That's one of the biggest missing points. A lot of people send us feedback. We want an Android app, so that's coming till the end of this year. And one of the biggest new feature of the Pocket is that you basically can switch it to standard quality mode, meaning that it would work like a Bluetooth headset. That's called Bluetooth hands-free profile. So that's the technology being used in AirPods, any wireless headphones, which has some. So the big advantage is that you basically works with any app. So it would work with Facebook Live. It would work with any app except an audio stream. Also with the standard camera app. The drawbacks are that you only can work with one microphone. If you have dropouts, you have dropouts, and it's lower audio quality. But at least it works with any audio video app on Android, iOS, Windows, Mac. You even could run a Skype call through that function. So it makes it pretty open. You have to sacrifice a little bit on the quality, but on the other side, it gives you a bigger flexibility in using other apps.
And I guess at the moment, I was going to say, what's next for Mikme? But I take it it's all about this Kickstarter campaign that's starting today. Is that right?
Yes. So we just like the last couple of months, we were just preparing Kickstarter. In the meantime, the engineers are working on a couple of new firmware versions and ramping up production. So the cool thing with this campaign is that 4 years ago, when we launched the original microphone, we had one prototype, no community, no marketing, and we still have sold like 2,000 of them. But we have been like quite late on shipping them, like a year too late. This time it's completely different. We already have built 50 prototypes. We sent them to a couple of guys, tested it quite heavily. We are pretty close to certification, and right now it doesn't look that there's any delay in the production. So we're going to start shipping in December 2019. And the cool thing is it's 95% identically with the original microphone. So there's a lot in place which we didn't have like a couple of years back. So it's a little bit more relaxed, but it was still very curious to see, how the market is reacting. I mean, we've seen on Kickstarter, there's a huge community of video photographers on Kickstarter. There's a couple of really successful campaigns on Kickstarter. So so looking forward, see how we're going to perform this time.
And like you said, you've got a lot of experience with a Kickstarter campaign, and you've probably learned a lot of lessons from first time around. And there's going to be a lot of people listening that are thinking about launching a Kickstarter campaign too. Is there any big lessons that you've learned or advice that you would pass on to people that are thinking about launching their own campaign?
There's a lot to learn, but the first advice is that every campaign is different, but there's some basic rules. So if you know that, like one of the first one is the goal. So you have this official goal on Kickstarter. So Kickstarter is similar to Indiegogo. So we've been on both platforms. So set the goal to a kind of a goal you can reach pretty fast, because the community is a big part of a campaign is preparation. So in the first two campaigns, we have not been super well prepared from a community point of view. So we didn't have like a lot of signups up front. So this time we did it completely different. So we're running a pre-marketing campaign since about 6 to 8 weeks, and we already have about 4,000 people on the waiting list. So that once you launch a campaign, then the most critical time frame is the first 2 days. So as we will launch like Monday, so you need to see that you reach your goal as quick as possible, ideally within a day or two latest. Once you reach the goal, then normally you see a higher conversion rate, because people, if you are funded and you are perceived as successful reaching the goal, they will more likely buy your product. And then you also have your internal goal, which is like normally much higher than the official goal, which you want to reach. I guess, and the most important part of the campaign and the content is the video. So in our campaigns, we spend like a ton of money and time just on the video, getting the messaging right. So I'm a fan of, nice product videos. And we also would like try to get the message across. We provide professional quality with the product. And if you want to like bring that message across, also a professionally done video makes a lot of sense. And the third big part is, as I said, pre-marketing. So you need to start actually campaign 2 months or at least 4 weeks before you start the campaign, with collecting email addresses, firing up a landing page, getting on Facebook, YouTube, launching an ad campaign. It's not that you just launch on Kickstarter and then you will get a lot of money. So that worked like, I don't know, 80 years ago when I started following Kickstarter. But these days, there's like really big companies launching campaigns or startups, and they're putting into, I don't know, 50, 100,000 euros in the campaign. So if you're just an independent person and you want to reach my goal is always like getting 500,000 or 1 million euros. So that's a lot of money. So you also have to invest upfront. And then another big, if you're making a campaign with a hardware product, having like a stable prototype is very important, because just with coming along with an idea, those times are over. That an idea is enough. You have to prove that somehow you are able to fulfill. I mean, all those things are not secrets. But I guess in the first campaign, what I did wrong is no pre-marketing. We were sure that the product is so cool, the original Mikme Microphone, that we just have to push the button and go live and everyone will write about it, which was completely wrong. We still made 80,000 euros, but we set the goal much too high, to 200,000 euros. So we didn't make it. But the cool thing with that campaign in 2014 was that we had like a small community of 400 people who wanted to buy it. We kicked off the second campaign with those 400 people. Crowdfunding is a really good thing, but it's not easy. It's a lot of work, like every product launch. I think it's a great idea. I talked with Indiegogo, Kickstarter. So without Indiegogo, Kickstarter, we wouldn't be around any longer. And it's kind of, for us, it's good to come back to Kickstarter, give back a little bit to our current customers with a really good deal, because they supported us years over years and ask us for that product. So it makes a lot of sense to give them the chance to be part of this journey again.
And for everyone listening, can you just remind them of that Kickstarter page and your website and how they can reach out and contact your team if they do have any other questions?
Sure. So we'll launch Monday 24th in the afternoon, 3 p.m. You just search through mikme.com, either on Kickstarter or go to mikme.com, and there will be a million different banners on the side letting you reach the Kickstarter campaign. The Mikme Pocket will start at €249, but be sure to back quite early because prices will go up. So this is just like a very limited set of pockets in the beginning, in the first day. If you want to reach us, just reach out through the social channels with Mikme Audio is our handle, or send an email to hello@mikme.com. We're going to get it back as soon as possible if you have further questions.
And for everyone listening, if they visit techblogwriter.co.uk, go to podcast, there'll be a blog post that accompanies this episode, and I'll have the links and videos of the Mikme in action just so people can find it. But what I love about what you've created here is we're living in an age now of Instagram stories, Snap stories, Facebook stories, all broadcasting in HD video. But what you're doing is making it easy to bring studio audio into that too. So it's great to see how all those stories, or the way that we tell stories, that are evolving through technology. So, as always, Philip, it's an amazing pleasure to get you on the show, and let's not leave it another 6 months till we see you again. I'd love to hear how that Kickstarter campaign goes.
Sure, I'd love to come back. Thanks for the invitation.
By automatically syncing the smartphone video with studio-grade audio from Mikme, you can streamline your shooting setup, but with no wires, no additional receiver, no post-production. And that's something that really appeals to me. And as someone that recently experienced the horror of corrupt audio in an interview with Gary Vaynerchuk, the added fail-safe and reliability features appealed to me as well for obvious reasons. Because as a video maker or a podcaster, every second counts. So never losing audio pieces again thanks to this internal audio memory. Sounds like a bit of a godsend to me. An easy-to-use storyteller's companion. That's how I see Mikme. So pop over to my website, techblogwriter.co.uk. Go to podcasts. You'll see a link to today's episode. And I'll put a video on there which should highlight how easy it is to use. And afterwards, let me know your thoughts. And equally, if you have the first Mikme, let me know your experiences with that too. Or indeed, any feedback on today's conversation. And my door is always open to each and every one of you. You should know this off by heart by now, but my email is techblogwriter@outlook.com. Twitter is @NeilCHughes. And if you want to see pictures of me at Glastonbury, pop over to Instagram, which is @NeilCHughes too. Speaking of which, I'm off to Worthy Farm now and the Glastonbury Festival, so I'll see you on the other side. So thanks for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.